Remember when I said this in my very first YouTube video? I want to connect with other people in the craft community online and talk about all of this because I don't have people in my life that want to talk this much about knitting and crafting. Now I've turned my online knitting community into a real life knitting club. And this is how I organized it. Hi, my name is Deborah. I love to knit, crochet, sew, all things fiber arts. I live in the sunny Belgium. Yes, it's been sunny for a few days now. That's insane. And today I'm gonna talk to you guys about how I organized my first knitting club, my first successful knitting club, which is so exciting. So, as I said in my first YouTube video, I really wanted to build and find connection surrounding fiber arts around me. Mostly first, I wanted to do that online, which has been really amazing and rewarding and cool to talk to all of you guys from all over the world, which is insane but amazing. And from doing that, I really felt like organizing a knitting club. I floated the idea first, I think, in my first knitting podcast video to see if people were interested, and seeing the reaction, and a few people even DM'd me to say that if I ever would organize it, that I should reach out to them. So that really made me believe that it was possible. So I'm gonna go through all the steps I took to take the interest from the knitting club online to real life and organize my first one, the first one of many. The first thing I did was obviously find members. Even if like a few people DM'd me and showed interest, I think there's a big difference between you telling people you want to organize something and people like, yeah, I'm interested in it, and organizing it and have people actually show up. There's like a big gap in between that. That's why in the first video I was just kind of soft launching it and just seeing if people were interested. And what I first also did was looking for other knitting clubs in the area to see how they organize how they find their members, what's their system like. And I just realized that it's usually with workshops, you usually have to use the yarn from their shop if they're organizing it in a certain space. And I really wanted it to be as easy as possible to get into the knitting club. So you could use your own needles, your own yarn. You could pay next to nothing to just sit and enjoy your craft with other people, because I just felt like the barrier to entry in these other clubs was pretty big. And I know I was feeling like I was just looking for a place to find community and not to commit immediately to 10 knitting clubs and a workshop and everything in between. I was just trying to find a place where I could do my crafting, with other people, with other like-minded people. So then after realizing what the current state of the local knitting clubs were, and when I say local, I mean my city, because there are knitting clubs in other cities in Belgium that are thriving and cool and doing really cool stuff. I'm just talking about the city of Ghent. And after looking around and seeing what the current or the available knitting clubs were and how I wanted mine to be a little different, I made a Google Doc to send out. I talked about it on all of my different social media pages to have as much people as possible that are interested in it to fill it in, just so I would know what they would want out of the knitting club. The questions in the Google Doc, I'll put the Google Doc down below, so if you want to make one, if you want to organize a knitting club in your area, you could basically use the same questions. But the gist of it was, what type of location would you be interested in? Would you be open to pay for location fees? And if they said yes to the previous question, how much would they be open to pay for it? Then the more like obvious questions, the date, the timing, what day literally, no, so not dates the date not specifically, but what day they would prefer having the knitting club on, the frequency of a meetup, how long the meetup should last, their knitting skills, and their contact information so I could keep updating them if I had new information. And that really gave me all of the information I needed to start looking for a location. Also, what I was also thinking is if people were willing to fill in a Google Doc, they were probably willing to also go. Because it's like it's not just a poll that you can just click and it's like easy. You also have to fill in your information at the end, so you're gonna be interested in it. So I just felt that the people who would fill in the doc would also go the extra mile to come to the club. That's what I was assuming at that point, which is true, but at that point I didn't know if that was really real. So I had, I think, about 12 people answering this doc, and with all of that information, I went looking for a venue. Now, for the venue itself, I had a few options. I could choose to do it outside, but at that point, it was the middle of winter and like the weather was iffy. We're also living in Belgium, so it could rain at any moment. So it could be sunny right now, and in an hour it would be completely raining. So just assuming that 4 to 5 hours maybe would be dry is not a good assumption to make in this country. So going outside was also not an option. Now rotating homes, I don't know these people, so I'm not just gonna invite everyone to my house. Then I looked at local libraries, but the price, it's not that the price was insane, but I think I would have preferred to have 20 to 25 people come to the knitting club and be sure that the price for the venue would be good enough so that it's 1 to 2 euros maybe per person that they have to pay to be able to be there. But I couldn't guarantee that at that point, so I was just think that local library is just not a good option. Then I also looked for community centers, but those venues usually can populate up to 50 plus people. I wasn't, that was not gonna happen. So I knew that that was also not a good option, and I settled on coffee shops. I myself edit YouTube videos and other types of videos in coffee shops all the time. And I already went to one that I really liked, but it was pretty busy. So I reached out to my boyfriend's cousin, and she said that there's this one coffee shop in Ghent called Rocco, and they would probably be interested in hosting something like that there. And I went to visit them, and the vibe was amazing. There are books everywhere. It's a feminist LGBTQIA plus space. And when I asked them if they would be open to it, they were like, yeah, just send us an email. So I knew I had the location. I was super happy. They seemed super like delighted by the idea. So I knew it was possible. And we could also reserve a table there without having to pay for the table. They were just asking to order a drink while being in a knitting club. So that was amazing. Like that was literally the best of both worlds. The space is also really cozy, and there's enough light that comes inside of it. So I really am extremely lucky with that. They were open to it, and the location was really good. Like it was easily attainable by car or by bus if you're using if you're using local transportation. So that was literally perfect. After that was confirmed, I was able to send out one more poll just asking for which date would actually fit everyone's schedule, and I think up to 10 people responded to it, and the date was locked in. I sent it back to the coffee shop and they were also good for it. So last Sunday, and then the day of is where I just started to get a little anxious. And even though everyone confirmed, I also talked about it on my Instagram and my TikTok. But the day of, I was really stressed. I was really excited, obviously, because I was thinking about it for a long time, and it was a little bit of organizing to get it all together. And when I went to a market with my sister in the morning. because first I really wanted to, but also just to get a little bit of the jitters out. Spread van vrijdag. Snap je?
Maar is er op zondag nog wel een markt?
Ja, maar ik weet niet wat er... Dit plein is de vrijdagsmarkt, hè?
Ah.
Dus vrijdag. Snap je? Misschien hier op de Vlasmarkt dat er ook nog iets is. En anders hebben we gewoon een wandeling gaan maken.
Dat is waar.
Yes. Hitting our 10k steps.
Yep. Yeah.
And I kept telling her, like, if only one person comes, it's fine. It's fine if only one person shows up. That's already pretty cool. Even though everybody literally confirmed, but I was just a little bit anxious. Garen, dat is zo'n net.
Ik denk dat daar iets meer, de meer duidelijker was.
Ja, daar moet je echt zien, hè?
Ja.
15,
24?
Ja. Ja, veel.
Ja.
Nee.
No,
well, Chiara, let me tell you, this is not expensive. Oh my god, ik ga er dit opnieuw mee kunnen maken. Wacht. Dat gaat niet.
Moet je zakje daar dan in steken?
Oh nee, dat moet ik.
Ja.
Van de camera?
Wat?
Yes.
Ja.
Ja. Een tof ding eigenlijk. Ja, maar dan nog hier
klein.
zien. Ja.
The market was really fun. I found beautiful yarn there and decided to cast on a project with the yarn I bought there for the knitting club because the projects I was currently working on were a little bit too difficult to be able to focus on conversation and talk to the people around me and also help my sister knit her beanie. So I chose that project and a beautiful yarn. And on the way back home, I was just like, okay, we were gonna have to eat quickly and then, we're going. It's happening. And when we were on the way there, we were, I think, 10 minutes in advance there and there was already someone there. So I was like, okay, at least, in my head, I was like, at least there's one person. And we reserved a bigger table in the back and people started showing up and you would see in their eyes, it was like, is this for the knitting club? Yes. And it really was so much fun. I had such a good time. Everyone was so nice and we were laughing together and like just talking about all the things that would happen online and on TikTok or on YouTube and sharing knitting YouTubers we love to look at or just content we love to look at and the projects we're working on and who we are as people and what we do for work or our hobbies and just joking and everything was just it felt so easy. No, it really just felt like a community was really forming and the fact that was possible and there's someone even who was in the coffee shop and who asked like, do you guys know each other? I was like, no, we knew each other from online. I really felt like people around us could tell that we were having a good time. And that's why they were wondering like, what this was. And just after the first meeting, that's crazy. And I say all this to say, I started this 3 months ago with the hope of having an online knitting community to share my work with and my ideas with and my process of making stuff and the fact that I know it's just the first meeting and my brain is already ruminating and thinking of other things we could do together. Obviously the knitting club is gonna continue to happen, but the fact that it was possible to do this, to bring all these people together in real life is kind of crazy to me. Like it's awesome. It's so cool. It's kind of crazy. And I just want to thank all of you guys for subscribing and watching my content and engaging in it and sharing your ideas and your experience and your fiber arts journey with me because by you doing that, I was able to create this and that's just so cool. That's amazing. And it's motivating me to do more things online and offline and I'm just super excited and super thankful and grateful and happy, just happy, really, really happy. And I wanted to say that and I also wanted to share it because I know that other people probably in their surroundings want to organize this. So if they kind of want a blueprint to know how to do it, that's how I did it. And to tell you that it's possible, like if I can do it, you can definitely do it. And yeah, the people in this community are really cool. That's what I have to say. Like, everyone is really cool and really nice. And I'm just still shocked that I'm not even shocked, but I'm just really, yeah, happy. Like, it's so rewarding. Bringing people together, being able to share your experiences it's really nice. It's really awesome. And I can't wait to the next one. And yeah, just wanted to share that with you guys. That was this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you want to follow me, you can follow me on Instagram at Unraveled.knit. Right here, you can follow me on Pinterest at Unraveled.knit as well. You can also follow me on my TikTok at Unraveled.studios. And I will put everything in the description. I will post a Google Doc I used also in the description if you want to use it as a template. Then see you in the next video. Bye.